Welcome to the BAM Sports Show.
All right, so here we go.
Maybe I'm the weird one.
It's 2022. We don't judge. You do.
No, I don't.
A fan of the show had a shout out for you.
You should just shut your mouth. You're coming off as stupid.
Welcome to a brand new sports show experience coming through your wavelengths. Let's get ready to have some fun. So sit back, crack open a drink, and let's talk some sports.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the BAM Sports Show. I am your host, Blake. It is September 30th, the last day of the month. Bring on October. I am joined tonight with the greatest group of guys in the world. We got that dude down in Jacksonville who's actually back down in Jacksonville.
That's right. What's going on, fellas?
We got the Southside Sox Rob. What's up, dude?
What's up?
And we have the man, the myth, the motherfucking legend, Dan. What's up, dude?
Oh, hey, everybody. How you doing?
The man with at least a Batman-sized less chest hair this weekend.
That's true. Yeah, all the yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, like, after I took that off, like, I think it was 2 days later, like, it was just like whiteheads all the way across. So something wasn't right. Like, something went
left
wrong.
it on for an hour.
Yeah, that's what. Well, as we're talking about on a pre-show when we're getting set up here. I was telling these guys, like it was like a day or two later, I was just thinking, like, wait, I think something went wrong, because there's no way it was like, it went through all the testing and stuff. Like, oh yeah, it takes like 14 tries to rip the strip off. Yeah, that's we did that, tested it on animals. It's fine. So yeah, and then later I looked it up. I found out I was a test subject. Yeah, looked it up. Like, it's like 5 seconds. That's all you're supposed to leave it on for. Then you rip it off. So that was, I'm pretty sure all that like glue got into my bloodstream. And it was just was on there. But yeah, it was just, I wish I took a picture, because it's cleared up now. It kind of looks like it's the way, normal wax is supposed to be. But it was just, whiteheads all across my chest.
Those weren't whiteheads. That was your soul trying to exit.
That was my soul, yeah. Dude, I was telling you when it was happening, man, I felt like I was like almost like separating like the skin from the muscle. Like, it's like, this is not correct. Like, and then it just felt like a bruise for like a week.
So I have to ask, did the thought process go through your head of, oh shit, this might not come off? Because on one of those, you grabbed, dude, and you yanked it as hard as you, like, I thought you were going to punch your computer screen. Like, you yanked that bitch and nothing came. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, my
dude,
headset like fell off.
This might, oh
yeah,
shit, guys.
Great.
If you didn't watch last week's episode, make sure you check it out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and what the camera doesn't show you. What the camera doesn't show you is that, you were talking about the glue getting in your bloodstream there. Danny actually grew the toe that Blake lost. So there's that.
It was a little lecture on there.
It was fucking crazy. It was fucking crazy.
Anyway.
Yeah, guys. So we are a sports show. We're not a waxing show. Sometimes we do wax on the show for fun.
It could be,
yeah.
Dan.
Crazy game last night. We got a bunch of games this weekend to kind of look forward to. Before we get NFL stuff, Rob, any upsets on your mind for college football tomorrow? I've got one or two in my head.
Yeah, I do. This is going to be a low key, but I like the Iowa Hawkeyes versus
Michigan
tomorrow.
I was going there too.
You like that?
I do. Michigan.
I do. It's in Kinnick Stadium. Iowa's defense is fucking disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a legit chance that Iowa wins that football game.
Yeah.
What's Iowa ranked?
They're not ranked.
They're not.
They're not ranked. Okay, I didn't think they were. Yeah.
It's the Hawkeyes are 3-1, and I believe Michigan's 4-0.
Have the Hawkeyes? Oh yeah, they lost to Iowa State. Right.
Iowa State. Yeah.
But I look at that game and I was like, it's early. Like, Michigan's offense has not looked great. Their quarterback situation's up in the air. And that Iowa defense is just fucking scary. They are stout.
Yeah.
So, and then I know you, Rick, got Florida State back in the top 25.
Yes, sir. I'm actually pretty excited about
tomorrow and get out of it.
Nope. I'm actually excited about it. So I thought it was actually kind of funny. So my wife and I were watching some videos and whatnot, like, kind of stuff ahead of the game. And Wake Forest's coach like came out and was kind of like low key, like shitting on like some of like our team's traditions and stuff, and like was basically saying like, oh yeah, I doubt anybody's going to show up or whatever, because he thought the hurricane got to us, a little bit worse than it did. He's like, but yeah, I doubt like we really see all that many people there. And so like Florida State went like all out. Like they started offering like, hey, anybody that has like a Florida driver's license, like you get a free ticket to the game.
What?
And
Really?
so, yeah, like they're just handing out like free tickets, like, which is crazy to me because like just the last home game, they sold out like no problem. Like
Right.
they didn't have to give any free tickets away. They just sold out. But they're like, all right, like you want to say we're not going to show up? All right, bet. So that ought to be a fun game. I honestly, it will be a very telling game for Florida State. But I got the Noles taking this one.
If you want to talk betting on that one, they are 6.5. They're laying 6.5 points. Florida State is at home. If you want to ask my pick, I do like Florida State that game.
Yeah,
I do. I like Florida State because I don't like Wake Forest. Like I don't like Wake Forest.
Another game I like is there's actually a game going on now that I have on my parlay slip, and it's UCLA beating Washington today. Right now the score is 9-7, and it's at halftime. And Washington is ranked 15.
Yeah,
wow,
that's sort of my de facto team. So
yeah, I mean, I nothing against the Huskies, man. I like Washington, but I just UCLA is a good team. 4-0.
Hey, real quick, fellas, I saw my brother here commented, Dan, I don't know you personally, but I genuinely felt bad for you. It was, some typos here, but it was like watching the end of Braveheart when everybody was begging for mercy.
It could be Bravewart. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, with some
he put Bravewart.
You never seen Bravewart? you obviously don't get Cinemax.
That's funny.
Anyway,
Rick, this coffee with that whiskey is delicious.
That's what I was just about to ask you. What you drinking, man?
Yeah.
You gave me a little
share with the class.
What is that?
Yeah. So out of my Charizard mug tonight, I'm drinking a French vanilla coffee with the the cookie dough. Old Tennessee whiskey.
No, I thought it was like
cookie dough.
Old Smoky, isn't it?
Tennessee.
Old Smoky.
Old Smoky.
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
Old
that's what it was.
Smoky.
Wow.
It's cookie dough whiskey, dude. It tastes more like s'mores though. Like the chocolate
That's all right. S'mores is good.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking good, man. It's pretty fucking good. So I thought
I'm sure with like the flavor of like the coffee and like the vanilla in there. Yeah, I'm sure that I bet it's like almost like an upgraded White Russian type of drink.
Yeah. I need to start drinking like caffeine, like just during or before the shows, because I keep like, I'll just take like an hour and a half nap or whatever, because like Friday nights, like I'm out by like 9:30, so I'm like, just take a nap and set my alarm, and I doesn't help. I just wake up and I just like feel groggy,
even more tired.
Like, all right, I'm ready to start the show.
Let's do it.
Yeah, how about college football? Yeah.
Any other headlines you guys are interested in tomorrow? Seeing that NC State Clemson game will be good because there's going to be a wet one.
Yeah. No, that ought to be a good one. I think I'm good.
I got a headline. I got a headline for tonight.
What's that?
Mariners, if they win today, they're going to the playoffs for the first time since 2001.
Ooh.
Rob, how many blockbusters were around at that time?
Ooh, man.
Like all of them.
Pretty much, man. When I saw that stat, I was like, man, that is crazy stat.
Yeah. Longest draft playoff drought in all sports.
That's
I will
crazy.
say this. If we're talking baseball real quick, obviously the White Sox suck. We're out of it. New coach come in. Good. I'm excited. We'll get into another show. But I said this like
he's throwing shit.
I said since the Rockies and the White Sox are gone, there was one team I was going to root for, and that was the Seattle Mariners if they made the playoffs.
Yes.
So and if I can recall back like when we first started doing the show and we did predictions, I liked Seattle.
You picked them as the division winner.
And I was on the Seattle train, man. I'm still on the train, and they're just a fun baseball to watch. And that pitching staff is so fucking dominant.
Yeah, with Castillo
it's exciting,
now.
man.
Yeah.
I like it. And, I harp all the time on Seattle, how great it is. I love that city. I'm not going to sit here and beat a dead horse. But yeah, no, I'm definitely very, very happy for the Mariners. It seems like, for the longest time, they were almost like kind of the farm team, that would eventually go off to like play better baseball like elsewhere. But super happy for Seattle. I'm just going to go ahead and say it with all these Chicago assholes around. Go Cardinals. Central Division champs.
Yeah.
I think we can all hang our hat on one thing. I think we all agree we'll ride with Seattle this postseason.
Oh, and one last thing with Seattle. I really, really want them to finish with the second wild card because this is the third time or the first time with the third wild card in there. And it feels like if they just ride in there as a third wild card, it feels like it's kind of a gimme. Like they earned it because it's part of the structure. But I really feel like if they win the second wild card, it's like the curse is over. Like it counts as its playoff run.
Yeah. I mean, hey, yeah. But no, I will definitely gladly root for Seattle so long as they don't end up in the World Series with the Cardinals. But
you don't have to worry about that one, dude.
That's like another thing, though. Like, if that were to happen, like God willing, you have a Cardinals – because the Mariners are American League, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So if by some
Come on, Mariners fan.
ungodly miracles, I'm a Cardinals.
I'm just joking.
But if by some ungodly miracle you had a Cardinals Mariners World Series, it would be a lot like the 2011 World Series for me, where it was the Rangers versus the Cardinals. It was like obviously I'm going to root a little bit more for the St. Louis Cardinals. But that was, in that situation, I had a lot of great memories growing up going to Texas Rangers games. So
sure.
I wasn't going to I was rooting more for the Cardinals, but I wouldn't have been upset. So whatever happens with the Mariners, if they end up in the World Series against the Cardinals by some miracle for both of those teams, I'll be happy for them regardless. But no, definitely riding this train while I can with the Cardinals. This last hurrah with Yachty, Pujols, and Bueno.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like Seattle's just going to have a parade and just go into the playoffs, which low expectations, it's like, oh, we don't really care what happens in the playoffs. Like, I got to stop thinking that way.
We got there.
Dude, one thing I can say, man,
we don't
like
have
in
to
the
try
playoffs,
anymore.
anything can happen in the playoffs, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do like
100%.
it's a 4-game wild card game. Wild card game now, right? Or
they
series?
changed it this year.
Yeah, it's I couldn't
Four
remember if it's 3 or
wouldn't make
4. I'm
sense.
pretty sure it's 4.
4 doesn't make sense though because you could split.
Oh, it must be 3 then.
No, it's a 3-game series.
3-game series.
3
Okay.
would make sense because it was
But
1, right?
It was 1, yes.
Yeah,
It used to be 1.
You're right.
And that's what I was worried about. If the Mariners were like, "Hey, we got to the playoffs, but we was a 1 game," like that shouldn't really count. Now we're gonna, now it's like we're gonna be a sucky team with and we went to the playoffs for a game and lost. So
My brother
anything,
says, "Oh, sorry, go ahead."
Some shit talking in the chat. I see.
My brother says the Mariners will definitely go to the World Series. The Cardinals are going to buy them all tickets.
Yeah,
it's pretty nice that the Cardinals will take them as dates.
Yeah. That Julio, man.
Shit. Well, so let's kind of get into football. We got to go through kind of week 4 stuff. No AFC teams are undefeated now, with the Miami Dolphins falling last night in Cincinnati to the Bengals 15-27. Obviously, the big storyline out of that is the health and future of Tua's career. Whichever side of that stance you sit on, I guess, wait for the facts to come out is the only thing that I ever say about it. Wait, like we didn't hear from Tua until earlier today, so I get it, but it's scary at the end of the day. My biggest gripe with the entire thing is why the fuck did Amazon Prime continue to show the replay 400 times?
100%.
We all saw it. We didn't need to see it over and over and over again. Like you didn't need to show that dude's head bounce off the floor like a basketball.
Right.
Yeah.
Even
I think JJ Watt tweeted like, "For the love of God, please stop."
Yeah. Yeah. No, and what a shame. What an absolute shame. Tua, like I had said a few weeks ago, I was very cautiously optimistic with Tua. I wasn't, completely sold on him yet, but these past couple of weeks, up until, well, I guess not yesterday, but I guess what would have been technically the week 3, before his injury in that game happened, I was like, damn, like, okay, I'm starting to see, all the hype around Tua now. And he was just really starting to, kind of hit his stride before all this stuff happened.
Totally.
So what a shame.
Yeah. I wasn't beginning of the year, I wasn't sold on him at all. I was like, I thought this was going to be the year he was just going to have a mediocre year and it was going to fizzle out and they're going to start looking for a new QB or something. And I was very wrong on that. Like, seems like he's actually going to, like, when he comes back, he's already, there's no question. I think he's got a spot for years to come now.
So here's my question. First one, I got a thing. I just want to let everybody know. Couldn't say it online, but I told you guys that I took the Bengals -3. I got a lock for tomorrow, and I got a lock for Sunday that I will give later tonight. But I do want to go back to that game. After watching that injury, which I'll save my opinion for later, but is it bad for NFL to have Thursday games? And I think like it's too much. It's good for the fans. Don't get me wrong,
right?
But it's not good for the players. And if you're worried about the health and safety, I think and we discussed this earlier in the chat, but I think maybe you should stick away from the games, man, at Thursday games, because like it hurts. When you have a Sunday game, then you got to go for Thursday, and you do have an injury like that. Like it's tough on the players, man. And players come out. Listen, man, I've seen a lot of players. I, for one of them, man, like I was in Little League. I'm taking it back years. My helmet fell off. I stole from second base to third base. I got hit in the baseball, man. I got up. My mom wanted to take me to the hospital, man. And I just said, no, I want to continue to play. And I'm just saying it's the toughness in these guys, man, that, to his wife had to be like, fuck that. He's not playing, after that first game. And these players, man, just want to continue to play, man. They feel like they're going to let down, man. And I think it would benefit these players that there's no Thursday night games, man. And they can just stick to maybe like someone said, one Saturday night game and then have a Sunday and then have a Monday game. I that's just me. It's better for the safety. And it's still, you're getting one game on Saturday night. Yeah, it's going to interfere with like college and stuff, but or just keep it, Sunday and Monday.
I was going to say, but at that point, why not just go Sunday, Monday? Like why even try to fuck with, why even try to fuck with the college, obviously because, right, like everybody's going to lose money if they put games on Saturday. That's why like you see when college football ends, all of a sudden the NFL cuts their games in half on Sunday, slides into Saturday because there's open time frames. So everyone's going to lose money. So the Saturday thing, I think like just cut the one game out on Thursday. Like I get the thought process of it. Like, hey, let's start the weekend early, right? Like if you think about it in college, right? There was Thursdays. Like like I went to UC. We had classes Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday. There was no classes on Friday. So our weekend started on Thursday nights. Go out to the bars, whatever. So I get what the NFL is trying to do by having the Thursday night games. And let's be honest, it starts 5 days of football. We got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday football right then and there. And it's but I agree, Rick. Like I don't know that the extra game one night a week is worth it.
What about the fact that you get a longer week off? I mean, I know it's hard to kind of take that position with watching what happened to Tua, but I mean, who's to say that another couple days rest would have avoided that situation, or even?
But here's the thing: who's to say that regardless of what happens last week, like it was a hard hit. Like it's a hard impact hit.
Yeah.
Like that could have been caused just off of that hit. But I
4
see,
days.
like, I mean, plus you got to think like they were on a short week as it was. They had to travel early to get to Cincinnati because of the hurricane. They couldn't technically practice in Cincinnati because they were at UC Stadium, which is right smack dab in the middle of fucking campus. You know, so every play they're running on offense, if you go back and look at all the footage and videos that came out, which there was a ton, they had 12 people on offense. So they couldn't properly prepare for the game. You know?
Yeah.
Do you think it would make any difference? Oh, sorry. Would
No,
it
you're
make
good.
any difference if they scheduled? I'm personally a big fan of Thursday Night Football. I'm not saying it's the right position to have in terms of like their health and safety.
No, it's good for the fan.
I do get, yeah, and as I am, I'm a selfish fan, but obviously the player safety is more important. But
yes,
do you think that scheduling games or teams to play Thursday that would travel less, like say like San Diego or not San Diego, excuse me, Chargers in LA or Miami, Tampa Bay, Bills and Jets, like having these, making sure, hey, if it's Thursday, make sure that they're not traveling across the country to go play, and then having to spend the night there before the game, spend the night after. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing that out.
That's kind of
there
what Keith says here, right? Like he says, if you're going to do Thursday night games, the team should play a noon game the week before, and have limited travel.
Okay,
or come off a bye. Like if they're on a bye week or going
now,
into
there's an idea. There's an idea.
That's you hit the nail right on the head.
Are there two bye weeks this year?
Yeah.
Or was that there are? Okay, so that would make a little more sense if they started doing it that way. If there's one bye, I think that you'd be kind of like, hey, you're pulling healing time off that bye week. But if they got two bye weeks, I think that makes a lot of sense.
And I don't know how you guys feel. Sorry, Rick. But
you're okay.
It was the last week or the week before. It was when the Titans played the Bills. There was 2 Monday night games actually. I love that. I thought that was really cool. I maybe go 2 games on Monday night all the time. I think that's pretty cool though, because my Monday night there's really nothing on. I know you watch Raw and stuff, but it's still like it's nice not to have it all the time, but it don't have to be like every Thursday. Like if a team doesn't have a bye, do 2 games on a Monday. I'm just throwing out opinions. Like it could be options.
Yeah, I like that idea too, because like I think the crux of it is, because you have like college football on Saturdays and everything, I could see where like a scheduling conflict, like take out any considerations for the players, like just solely from a business, like black and white paper standpoint, I can see that it's difficult, to try to figure out how to schedule games anytime outside of that. But I think if you found that happy medium and you did something like a doubleheader on Mondays, one thing that I think, maybe just kind of expand on your idea, Rob, is that maybe especially like for us East Coast folks, like one thing that's unfortunate for me is I end up missing, the later Sunday games and, the Monday and Thursday night games just because of my like crazy work schedule. The game doesn't start until like 8:15 p.m. out here, so maybe if you did like 2 Monday games or something like that, and you had one of the Monday games just earlier, that might work. And you'd, obviously probably get a lot more of your East Coast folks to tune in to some of those Monday games. Like if you put one of the games just earlier on Monday, so it's not, like, I don't know, started at like 5, or something like that. That way, by the time 5 East Coast time, that way, whenever that game ends, you roll right into what would have just been the normal, regularly scheduled Monday night football game at 8, again, East Coast time. And you really know any different.
I mean, let's be honest. If it was about player safety, they'd only play games on Sunday, right? Like the issue is there's a ton of like Keith just said in the comments. They just Amazon Prime, they just paid $1 billion for Thursday night games.
Yeah,
like there's too much money to be made, and it's a shame. It's a shame. But yeah. So the other storyline that I wanted to kind of, where the fuck has Jamar Chase been? Like,
well,
one word.
Yeah.
T Higgins.
I guess so, man.
But
I think a lot of it is. Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
Well, I was gonna say I'll say going back to the game with, is that a bee in here? There's some sort of weird ass bug on my ceiling. Sorry. Going back to the Pittsburgh game, even though in a way he carried the team, there were I think I want to say 3, but I'm going to say 2 to be safe. Touchdowns where just very, not getting this other foot on the ground in the end zone. He's got one foot down and the other one's just like he's not dragging both feet. And that happened twice in the end zone. And then he did get a couple touchdowns on top of that too. And there's just things where he's getting open, he's getting the ball, but then he's making some sort of mistake where it's not a defensive player that's holding him down. It's just him. And he's still young. I think it's second year, right? So maybe that's part of it. But also when you got a guy that good, he's going to be covered hard. So that's why T. Higgins all of a sudden like, oh, I'm the guy now, So I think that's really what it comes down to.
They're both studs, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely they are. And I will say, like, selfishly for fantasy football purposes, I talked a lot about this in the chat, but damn, like Joe Mixon has been, for fantasy purposes, his volume has just been, like amazing. I mean, the guy like touched the ball 28. He had, I think oh shit. Sorry.
You're good. I got you.
You're good. I got you.
I accidentally activated like the Siri in my earphones. But anyway,
nice.
So he carried the ball 24 times for a whopping 61 yards or 63 yards, something just terrible, putrid like that. And I forget, like 4 catches for like 17 yards or something like that. But his volume's been there, and they spent all this damn money in the offseason on an offensive line. And then last night, he should have easily had 3 touchdowns. Had like 2 goal line. They ended up getting 2 goal line stops, like literally at the 1-yard line. But he could have easily had 3 touchdowns last night. And if you saw it last year behind what was allegedly a worse offensive line, where Joe Mixon was just running rampant last year, right? But then last night, well, and really all season up to this point, they just haven't found a way to gel or what, I don't know what combination of moving, those pieces around the line, like whatever combination it is that's going to work. But, at least they're throwing the ball better now. So I guess there's that.
Yeah. But he also got, did Burrow get sacked at all? It was
Did Burrow?
I wasn't sure if it was me or just Dan.
Yeah, no, it's Dan.
Dan got that Blake Wi-Fi.
Anyhow, let's continue on that conversation though. Does anybody know if Burrow? I think he did take a sack.
He did take a sack. At least 1 or 2. I do know that.
Let's see. Let me go to the.
That is such a glorious picture of Dan right now, though. I'm gonna
screenshot. Yeah. Only 1 sack last night.
I mean, that line held up, But like Keith said, Burrow doesn't have the time to throw those long routes to Chase.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah, I think as time picks up, though, I think that offensive line will get better, and you'll start seeing the Burrow from last year.
We're gonna bring Keith on as our statistician, I guess, because he knows everything.
We'll call him the Bear.
Hopefully, they can get their shit together and Joe Mixon can start performing again, because I need it desperately.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's kind of get into Sunday's games. We've got football all day long on Sunday. Dan, welcome back.
Thank you. Wow.
To answer your question, yes, he did take 1 sack.
One sack, yes.
Which to me is an improvement, because I honestly thought the Dolphins were gonna be much more defensive heavy, and I actually picked one of my fantasy teams I have, the Vikings and the Dolphins defense. Like, they're gonna good time to start sacking up on Burrows here, and I paid for it. So
yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and start on Sunday's games. We start early on Sunday as we play football across the pond this weekend. Saints and Vikings kick off at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern for my friend there in Jacksonville. Vikings Saints, who you got?
Skull, baby.
What a terrible game. It's basically a primetime game, and we all know how primetime Kirk Cousins is. So what a way to honor the late Queen of England by having Andy Dalton versus basically primetime Kirk Cousins.
And I'll say, okay, and it's the French, where the Fleur-de-Lis album or emblem for the Saints and the Vikings, all going to England, which is neither one has been very good to England in the past. So yeah,
I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I've got Vikings in that game. That's my lock for the week. That's my
Vikings.
survivor pick.
We don't know how international Kirk Cousins is. Might be better.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see here. Seahawks at Lions. No DeAndre Swift, no EST, no St. Brown.
This one's tough. Like, part of me wants to say the Lions just because we've kind of harped on the fact that they've played good this year. I mean, they're I'm not sure what their record is, like 1-2 or something like that, 1-3 or 1-2 rather going into this game.
1-2.
1-2. Although I feel like if it weren't, we were watching the game there at Buffalo Wild Wings while I was still out of town, and I think they had like a minute and some change left. But I was like, I don't trust Jared Goff. But with those weapons, if they had a better quarterback, the Dolphins would be disgusting right now. I like what they've done on defense. But yeah, I'm sorry. The Lions, yes, excuse me, the Lions. They would be a disgusting team right now. And like I say, I like what they've done on defense. I like that kid that they drafted, Hutchinson. Isn't that his name? Aiden Hutchinson?
Yes, sir.
He's been phenomenal. But that said, kind of going back to last week whenever we played the Falcons, and I know a lot of people like to kind of dump on them, but they've surprisingly looked pretty good this year.
Yeah.
And Geno,
the Falcons?
Geno played pretty damn good last week. I think he threw for over 300 yards, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think we all expected the Geno Smith that we saw when Russell Wilson got hurt, and I thought it was just going to be that all year. And he's been really surprising, even as the record shows that they're not fantastic, but they're definitely out of the bottom 5, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
So we got 2 Seahawks.
I'm going
Rob, who you got?
The Lions.
I go Detroit.
I like the Lions. I mean, the Lions are just man, they're different from last year. This team's hungry, and whoever they play, man, they keep it close. Seahawks are rebuilding. Still, you don't know what Geno's going to show up. I like the Lions at home.
Yeah, I had the Lions as my lock for this pick for this week, but then when I saw no Swift, no St. Brown, I retracted it because I do think the Seahawks have a chance in this game. Yes. But I like the Lions to win it.
I think it'll be close. I do. It's going to be close. I think the Lions maybe sneak out a field goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it being a lot like a Atlanta game.
Yeah. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to take the Seahawks.
Rick's riding the Seahawks every fucking game.
No, that's not true. I've definitely picked against them.
I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch. I'm trying to remember if you picked them against the Broncos.
No, absolutely not.
I hate picking teams when my Hawks are in there because I know I'm biased, but then I feel like then I try to be over biased the other way, and I know that's not right either. So it's hard to kind of pull myself out of that. I'm more that confident. I'm going to go with the Lions on here. So
3 Detroit's 1. Rick rides solo.
I hope I'm wrong. So, but that might just be over pushing my bias. Trying to push the other way. I don't know. It's hard to be sober on that.
We got Zach the MILF Hunter Wilson makes his return as the Jets head to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers.
Yeah, that won't matter. It's still Pittsburgh.
I don't know because I feel like it's going to be terrible quarterback play on both sides of the ball.
By both sides of the ball, yeah.
In
that case, I actually trust the Jets defense more than I trust the Steelers defense in that situation.
Yeah, and I was going to say the same thing.
No Fitzpatrick.
And I like Breece Hall this week. I think we're starting to see a shift happen a little bit. He outsnapped Michael Carter by quite a bit. And the Steelers can definitely be ran on, so I feel like maybe they lean a little bit more into their running backs this game, while, just kind of ease Zach Wilson in, the MILF Hunter in. This might be this might be Mitchell Trubisky's make or break game before they bring in Kenny Pickett. But I feel like it's going to be a terrible
I don't
game.
know, man.
Yeah,
Tomlin's not that coach. Tomlin's not the coach. No, I mean, he's not that coach to yank a quarterback in the middle of the season. And he's already come out and said we're not even having this discussion.
Fair enough. Fair enough. If it were me,
that's a hard sample. That's a hard sample size though, because he had Roethlisberger his entire career, so he's never just yanked him up. I mean, that's the only he hasn't gone through a whole encyclopedia of different quarterbacks where he had the opportunity to say, "Hey, I got this solid, first round draft pick or whatever that I want to eventually want to plug in." So I don't know to say that Tomlin just isn't that guy. I don't think he's had the opportunity that he has now.
Plus, their next four are tough.
Yeah, my thing is, man,
like Philly, Tampa, good.
So no one expected the Steelers to be that great, anyways. I mean, Mr. Trubisky, yeah, okay, but it's why throw Kenny Pickett in the fire? I mean, there's no reason to right now. I would ride with Mitch. Let Kenny Pickett at maybe week 10, if things are not bad, and then Mitch is just being Mitch, then throw Pickett in there. But I don't see the change right now. And if we go back to the game, I mean, the Jets defense is tough. I just don't see Zach Wilson having that game against, Pittsburgh, his D in Pittsburgh. I can see Zach Wilson easily throwing 2 picks that game. And I can see a running game by Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh I think they take it.
Do we know Zach Wilson is back?
Yeah,
I believe he's playing.
He's a starter. Yep.
He is a starter. Okay.
See, that's where I can see a world where, again, they don't really lean on Zach Wilson too much. They kind of take they take the game out of his hands a little bit and put it more on the running backs because, again, the Steelers defense can be ran on. Let me see if I can look this up here. NFL run. Y'all go ahead. I'll look this up while y'all continue.
So let's move on. Bears, Giants in New York.
I picked the Steelers, by the way.
Okay, sorry, Dan.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right. So Bears, Giants in New York.
Sorry, last plug that I'll make here. So the Steelers have the 4th worst run defense right now.
Wow.
Yeah, that's bad.
I do see the Jets. I mean, a definite reality where the Jets can win that football game. 100%. 100%. That's. I mean,
for the Bears and Giants, man, this game is going to be a trap game for the Bears. You want the Bears, but man, it's dude, are the Giants good or are they bad? You don't know. Yeah. They could have. They should have lost to the Titans. What was a missed kick? They won the following week. And then they lose to the Cowboys. So it's damn, I don't know, but I think this is a perfect time for the Bears defense to take over Daniel Jones. And this is a perfect game to see Justin Fields tear it up. I can honestly see 200 yards going for Justin Fields this game. I like the Bears, so bear down.
Yeah, give me the Bears for this one. I don't think there's really a lot. To me, it's not a difficult decision at all. I wasn't sold on the Giants 2-0 start to the season. I was even less of a believer in Daniel Jones than, kind of some of the sentiments that I made about Tua. There was no optimism of any sort, cautious or otherwise, for Daniel Jones. I like Brian Daboll. I like some of the pieces they have on that team. But really none of the wide receiver. The only wide receiver that was stepping up was Sterling Shepard, and he's done for at least the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unless Saquon just works some magic, then I think that this will be a good game for the Bears.
Yeah, I definitely see the Bears stuff in the box, holding Saquon down, and that's going to be the different factor.
Yeah, either way, I think we all assume it's going to be like a really low scoring game, like maybe a touchdown in the game. And like, I'm thinking like a 10-9 game, honestly. And I think I would
maybe even
if they had
game.
Yeah, if they had Sterling Shepard in, I would say Giants, but I feel like it's a toss up. Yeah, I think I'll go Bears just because of the defense, honestly. But yeah, I think it's
go Bears. I think defense is too much.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jalen Johnson's not playing again, so that does hurt. But I do think that Bears defense is just too much. Titans and Colts in Indianapolis.
This is tough.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to go against the Titans. I picked the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
That's going with my heart. I'm not betting them. I'm not making money. I don't know me saying it, so I'm just picking my heart. Do I think they're going to win? No, but I'm picking the Titans. Because one thing I will tell you. Wait, no, Danny was on my side last week. Danny picked the Titans. Everybody else picked the other fucking team.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Danny.
Well, I'm picking the Titans again too, and I'm not
fucking right.
I'm not going with my heart. I'm not like, oh, I'm not really a fan. I think that their uniforms are awesome, but no, I really think watching a lot of the games I watch, it's I go on YouTube and I watch like the 10-minute breakdown of the game. They just do like each of the first downs and stuff. So I don't necessarily always get the full picture unless I'm watching the games on primetime. But that game that the Colts had versus Kansas City, I'll say like Kansas City looked better, but Indianapolis like just took advantage of the breaks. A lot of special teams stuff happening, like Butker missing the field goal kick, which he's always money. That's just one of those things that doesn't happen. And it's like when I don't want to make
Butker's hurt, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah, that was he's hurt. That was Matt Amendola that they had.
See, when you don't watch the thing. Okay, so when you don't watch the full games, you don't know those things. Like, wow, Butker.
Yeah, so of course Butker missed that one.
Yeah. But
you weren't wrong.
I think everything just went right for the Colts there. And I think Tennessee is actually getting their stride now, and we're gonna start seeing them being on the one of the better teams in the NFL. And I don't know if I say like the top 5, but I mean, I think they're going to be definitely the better half, and I think they're going to prove it.
This is going to be a run-heavy game with Derrick Henry and Jonathan. This is be a close game. They always play each other tough. It's just I would probably lean to the Colts because they're home.
Tannehill's looking better.
Yeah, so go Titans.
Yeah,
Rick, who you got?
I'm going to take the Titans as well, but not because like I'm still not sold on the Titans. They've played, I'm wearing shit all over my face because I picked the Raiders last week, but I am now officially like 100% off the Raiders. Like they are the hands down bottom feeder of that division.
I picked Derek Carr. I was like, he's going to come back and he's going to be great. And I'm like, oh no,
Devontae Adams and so forth. Yeah, no, like
Renfro.
And after like that ass raping that Tannehill took against the Bills, but man, I could talk for an hour. Yeah, fair enough.
Bills,
true, but man, I could talk for an hour about like some of the jokes that we made about him. But anyway, no, I'm picking the Titans. I'm not Matt Ryan last week. Hey, good for him. Like the incredible upset over the Chiefs. I think that Matt Ryan still has a few flashes of good gameplay in him. He's not Matty Ice like he was back in the day. And I'm not sure, but aren't they still without like some of their receivers?
No, they're back.
No, Pittman played, but they're still missing. I know there was a couple like DeForest Buckner. He was limited. He might be out.
And they're on defense, they were missing a huge piece.
Was it
Shaquille Leonard?
Shaquille Leonard.
Shaquille Leonard. Yeah, their defense has not looked good without him at all. So, yeah,
I
I'm
believe
going to
he's
pick the
back this week,
Titans.
though.
I think it's another low scoring game, but I'll pick the Titans.
All right. We got San Diego Chargers down there in Houston playing the Texans.
False.
San
The
Diego.
Los
What?
Chargers.
Oh yeah, sorry. In my head, there's still San Diego Chargers.
I know.
I
do
caught
that
it,
too.
but I was like, yeah.
Fuck,
The only
fuck
reason
LA.
it's easy for me is because I lived like spitting distance from where that stadium used to be, and I saw it get torn down. So,
it got torn down?
oh yeah, like a year ago. They're like almost
geez.
done with the new stadium that they put in its place for the college team out there.
Oh.
I think Chargers bounce
Look at
back.
So for this game, let me tell you guys all, if you bet, people who listening bet, I am taking the Chargers -5 this game. I like them. I think I gave you guys that stat earlier. I think they're like 8-0-1 against the AFC South after coming off a loss versus being a favorite. So being a favorite and they have a loss, they're 8-1. So I like them. I think they're going to bounce back. So that's my lock of the week for NFL. I do like the Chargers -5 over the Texans.
Yeah, I'd take Chargers too. I don't really need to say more than I just think they're doing better. I will say I don't think like Texans are, in terms of their record, I think they're just one step above the Raiders, who are dead last. But I think their record doesn't show how good they are. I don't think they're great. I don't think they're even. I'd say they're more towards mediocre than just absolutely ass, I think.
Yeah.
But, unfortunately, I don't think they're going to necessarily show it in this game against San Diego. But I don't think it's definitely impossible for them to win at all. I think it's more of a, 65-35 game. Not score in terms of like percentage.
Sure.
That
Yeah.
adds up to 100.
I'm with you. Like my pick is the Chargers too, but here's my thing, and this is why I said it. Like it kind of feels like a trap game. In
Yes.
that, so yes, like impressive stat, 8-1 after coming off a loss to an AFC South team. But kind of the wrinkle that we're not talking about right now is that Justin Herbert still has fractured rib cartilage.
Mhm.
I think he completed like 50, like either 50 or sub 50% of his passes against the Jaguars.
Sure.
So, and they're still without Keenan Allen. I'm hoping and praying to God that means great things for Mike Williams.
Didn't last week though.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like that's it. And just like Danny said, I think that the Texans are better than what their record shows.
Mhm.
Certainly, they're not a cream of the crop type of team or anything like that. But better than what their record shows for sure. So, and the Chargers are also still without Joey Bosa. So I feel like the Texans have a better than zero chance of sneaking away with the upset in this one.
Will we all take the bet? It's not a bet, but will we all assume it's going to be a one-score game? Like it's going to come down to the last drive to win the game?
Yeah.
I just don't think Davis Mills is that dude. Like the Bears, they had the opportunity to beat the Bears last week, right? And Davis Mills threw the pick. Like it's just I don't trust the Texans.
Mhm.
Plus,
Fair
you got to
enough.
think they're coming off, like Rick, you said trap game. Like it's hard to have a trap game when last week you got your asses kicked in at home by Jacksonville 24-0. Or no, sorry, that was the Colts. You got your asses with what 38-7 or something stupid like that at home. Like you lost by 4 touchdowns. So I think the Chargers are just a more talented team.
Are they playing in Houston or are they playing in LA?
It's in Houston.
Houston, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, if I'm putting money down on it, I'm definitely putting it on the Chargers. There's way more talent on that roster than there is for Houston.
Right.
But I think that there is a better than 0% chance that the Texans come away with an upset.
All right, we got about 10 minutes left, guys. We got 9 games to get through. Browns, Falcons, in Atlanta.
Wait, Browns? Oh, sorry.
Cordell
my team mixed
is
up.
is questionable.
Isn't
I think
he?
if
I thought
Patterson doesn't play, there's no chance.
Cleveland.
If
If
I'm
we're
gonna
getting
say
to the
Atlanta.
show, I'm gonna say Cleveland.
I thought I heard that Patterson was a go. Maybe I misheard
Oh,
that.
is he playing?
I thought.
Oh, okay. Last
That's what I
heard he was
thought I read
questionable.
last. But
That's
you got
awesome.
me questioning that now. But that being said, the last Browns game, Brissett looked really
Like
good.
dog shit.
The Browns?
You thought he looked good against
I didn't
Pittsburgh?
think he looked too bad. Yeah,
Anybody?
they won
second
that game.
take? I mean, okay, yeah, they won the game, but does anyone think he looked good?
Better than I thought he was going to do. As like a backup.
He didn't lose them the game.
Let's
Sure, I'll
see.
say that.
Against the Steelers, Jacoby Brissett went 21 of 31 for 220 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm happy with that.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, it's definitely not dog shit. I mean, especially he's
agree.
a backup QB too. I'm like, okay, cool. Like let's roll. So yeah, I'm taking the Browns on this one as well.
Commanders, Cowboys in Arlington because they don't play in fucking Dallas.
It pains me to say it, but I've got to take the Cowboys.
Yeah,
Yep,
me
I
too.
fucking hate saying it. I hate saying it to my absolute soul.
Yeah.
Cowboys fans, do not take this as me praising your team. You are the most disgusting fan base in the history of sports, but I don't trust Carson Wentz. Oh, man.
Agreed.
My brother even came in, says, pains him to say, but Dallas will win on pass rushing. They start off slow, but Cowboys defense will lock in and offense takes over late game. Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head, Shan.
I just think Washington's bad.
And
man, it's like, the Cowboys I think steamroll.
Yeah, Wentz had that one solid game, and when it's only like 2-3 games, he's like, things are gonna change. But you get a big enough sample size, it all kind of evens out. Like, oh, okay, yeah, he's what we thought we were.
That's another team where there's like so much wasted talent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have 3 really good receivers. 3, and I hate what happened to Brian Robinson, but he looked like he was about to be just an absolute rookie sensation. Basically winning the job over Antonio Gibson coming out of camp. Before he got into that incident that he was in.
Carjacked.
Yep.
Curtis Samuel's looking good though. I mean,
Curtis Samuel's looking phenomenal. He looks like vintage Curtis Samuel. Like he looks. Ron Rivera's doing a lot of stuff with him there in Washington that he did with him out in Carolina. So, just Carson Wentz is so dog shit.
Let me go back to Cordell Patterson. He's still questionable.
Is he questionable?
Oh, he is. Okay.
Questionable.
Shoot.
Yeah, I think if Cordell does not play that game, I don't think there's a chance in how the Falcons win it.
Yeah.
Jaguars, Eagles in Philly. That's
fly, Eagles,
gonna
fly.
I agree. Go Eagles and fly. But man, I think we're gonna find out if the Jags are for real right now.
Yeah.
Like
I tell you what, I'm if I'm picking the Eagles, but I'm gonna be rooting like hell for T-Law.
Hell yeah,
dude. They have become, like I said in the offseason that, it came down to, when we did that episode of like who was gonna be my team. I gave some serious pause to Jacksonville. I really honestly did. They are
Ryan's recruitment though.
Yeah. No, it's I mean Ryan's recruitment was great. I know he wasn't here tonight, but yeah, props to you, buddy. That was great. But aside from that, like I've just fallen in love with the very underrated Jacksonville sports market out here. I'm not going to go into detail. I can talk for an hour about that. But that said, like when the Seahawks aren't playing, I will gladly root for the Jaguars from here on out.
Yeah. No, I feel the same. There's so many I'm always an underdog guy, unless it's my team, I want the team who's, supposed to lose to come back and win. That's just the way I am. Jacksonville's always that team. So I find myself rooting for them almost anytime they're playing.
It's hard to root against them. I'll just say that, you know. Bills, Ravens, and Baltimore.
I like the Bills.
I like the Bills. I think we see the Bills get back to being the Bills.
Yeah. You know, the Ravens always were like Lamar heavy, and they always had a defense. Like anytime you think of Baltimore, you think of their defense. But man, their defense just getting ripped up, man. You know, it's not the defense that it was before. Like Lamar's still there; they're still going to put up points. But man, after my team took an ass beating, and they still like the Bills didn't look bad against the Dolphins. They're still going to put up points. I like the Bills.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Are we the Towel Boys? Who are the Towel Boys? Shannon talking.
Thinking everybody but the Towel Boys are out on the Bills.
Who are the Towel Boys, Shannon?
Yeah, who are the Towel Boys?
I will say, I think I said this earlier, and I still think this. I think the Bills are the best team in football right now.
Agreed. Von Miller said on the Pat McAfee show they had Trayvon Austin running the scout team offense to prepare for Lamar Jackson.
Wow.
I thought you'd appreciate that as field Trayvon.
Here's the thing, though, with the Bills, because I think this is what cost them against Miami. They had a lot of I forget they said there was like I want to say like 4 or 5 players that were starting there for the Bills, you know, playing against Miami, who combined had 3 NFL starts in their career. You know, so just kind of looking at the injury report here, the Buffalo Bills have ruled out defensive tackle Jordan Phillips, wide receiver Jake Kummerow, whatever. Cornerback Christian Benford, and 7 other players are listed as questionable. You've got Gabe Davis, Dane Jackson, you know, which makes sense after that terrible neck injury against the Titans. Dawson Knox, who seems like he's kind of been popping up on the injury report a lot.
No.
Center Mitch Morse, offensive lineman Justin Murray, safety Jordan Poyer again, and Ed Oliver.
How many of those are first string though? Or
isn't Mekhi Hyde out too?
Out for the season, yeah. He's out for the
season, isn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. Jordan Poyer is definitely a starter.
I think the Ravens have a chance. Don't get me wrong, but I think the Bills coming off a loss. I think they
want to smash.
When Lamar Jackson's your quarterback, you're always gonna have a fucking chance, right? Like, period. No matter who you're playing. Yeah. But I just think
this is gonna be a high scoring game
as a whole team. Yeah.
Is this a primetime game?
No, it's a noon game.
Well, I mean, is it going to be like a national game? I guess I should say instead of primetime.
It depends on your local listings.
Okay. Really? I thought obviously, like say I'm in Ohio, so the Bengals are always going to be on when they're on. But God, I would love to watch that game.
Get Red Zone. You can watch all of the game because they're gonna be living in the fucking red zone in that game.
Yeah, because I won't pay $200 on my cable.
By the way, let me just give you guys an update real quick. UCLA is up 26-10 on Washington.
Ooh.
So and Washington's a number 15 team, ranked team, and UCLA is not ranked. So it could be an upset on this week.
Boo.
Go Washington.
All right, we got five games.
California.
Rapid fire: Cardinals, Panthers in Carolina. Does Matt Rule get fired when they lose this week?
I know they lose this week, so go Cardinals.
They lose this week. I agree. I don't know if he gets fired this week though.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd love to say that he would, but yeah, Cardinals.
Yeah, I'll go.
And I think the Cardinals get JJ Watt back this week too.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Broncos playing in Vegas at the Raiders.
Go Broncos.
Yeah.
Rick, you said this earlier in a group chat. I think you're like, if Russ is going to cook, this is the week for him to start cooking. So I agree with you. I think if there's a chance for the Broncos to do what you think they can potentially do this year, it has to start this weekend in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think everything is set up for, because I mean, you look back, and I was reading this. There was a very good point made specifically about Aaron Rodgers with Nathaniel Hackett. He started out when Nathaniel Hackett was the offensive coordinator there in Green Bay. He started out very, very slow in Nathaniel Hackett's system. And for fantasy, he was dog shit for a few weeks there to start the season. But then he went up, and obviously went off in these past 2 years. He was the NFL MVP. Again, kind of harkening back to that and how Tom Brady kind of started shitty with his team whenever he started with the Bucks. I think that this is the perfect get right game for one Russell Wilson. He has the talent. I still believe in him. A lot of like watching that game last week, it was not an issue. Like Russ was not the issue. There were so many balls that like he couldn't have walked up and handed the ball better to some of the receivers.
Yeah.
I mean, he and set it in their hands, but like they just weren't outside of Cortland Sutton. They just weren't catching it. But I think that this is definitely an easy get right game for Russell Wilson. The Raiders have been dog shit. So yeah, give me the Broncos and give me my fantasy quarterback, Russell Wilson.
Right.
Patriots and Packers in Green Bay, the last late game on Sunday before the Sunday night game. Mac Jones is out of this game. Brian Hoyer is starting for the Patriots.
Packers.
Yeah, this is a heavy game actually. So the Packers are favored by 9.5. That's why they're heavy favorites. This game's not going to be close. It's in Green Bay. Without Mac Jones, Green Bay steamrolls.
Yep, Green Bay smash.
I almost took them as my lock, but I couldn't do it because fuck the Packers.
Yes.
Sunday night, Chiefs and Buccaneers. They are playing this game in Tampa Bay. Thoughts and prayers to everyone down there. Rick, glad you guys didn't have any serious issues. But they are playing this game in Tampa. This will be interesting. I don't know if Tom has never lost to Pat.
Never. Literally never.
Wow. That's funny.
He's beaten him in regular season. He's beaten him in an AFC championship, and he's beaten him in the Super Bowl.
It ends this week.
Yep.
I like the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I agree.
Although Mike Evans is coming back and Godwin's still out, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure about Julio,
think it
though.
matters. The Chiefs lost last week.
They're
going to be playing pissed off.
But so did Brady.
Well, Brady lost, but man, they look bad. It was like, what is it, 14-12?
Yeah.
And then Monday night game, we got the Rams at Candlestick Park, San Francisco 49ers.
Give me the Rams.
Yeah, I don't trust the Niners after seeing them last week. And maybe it takes Jimmy G more than a week to kind of get back in that system and groove of things, but they did not look good last week on Sunday.
No.
I'm actually thinking it's gonna be really, really close. I'm actually, God, something's telling me it's the Niners. I think the biggest thing is just the NFC West division games are nuts. Like anytime Seattle was just going 14 and 2 or whatever it was, it's the Rams were limping in with like a 5-11 record would come and just kick their ass. So it's and that's not just between them. I'm just being it's no matter what's going on in that division. Division games are just
they're always tough.
Seems like they're always super, super tough in the NFC West. So I'm gonna go Rams, but I'm not going with my heart. I don't like it.
I'm kind of the same way. Just like you said, those division games are really tough, and I don't like how it's weird because I don't like how outside of Cooper Kupp, I don't like how any of the Rams offensive pieces match up against San Francisco's defense. And on the flip side of that, Jimmy G's abysmal play notwithstanding last week, I like how Debo, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, all those cats match up against the Rams defense significantly better than the Rams offensive pieces match up against San Fran's defense. So this is tough, but I'll take the Rams, but I'm not going to feel good about it.
Okay. I'm going to switch to the Niners, actually. I think Ricky convinced me.
I think I'm going to go Niners as well. Just 'cause, like I said, Kyle Shanahan, just for whatever reason, seems to have Sean McVay's number for the most part.
Yeah, that's a fair statement too.
Let me tell you guys something real quick. So sorry, Rick, didn't mean to bug you, but I just anybody who bets or has FanDuel, whatever they have, I made 6 picks today. It was the Bears, the Titans, Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, and Rams. If you guys want to lay $10 on that, you guys have $10 to spare. The winning will be $741.77. Do what you want with it. Those are my picks, and it's worth the $10.
I don't know if I can gamble in my state or not.
I don't think so. I don't think
Not
Ohio.
until January 1 in Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rick can't do it. I can't do it. Dan can't do it. You're the only one that can do it.
I can.
We can send you the money.
You
under
can
the
FanDuel?
table. We'll talk more when the stream's over.
I do prize picks.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I did. I
Really?
just did prize picks last week.
There's some places in Florida that have it.
Yeah, and Rick's name's on a list somewhere now.
Yeah, Rick's definitely on a list. Shit. All right, guys, that's all the time we have for tonight. We appreciate you so much for hanging out with us tonight, guys. Be a friend, tell a friend, hit the like on the hit the little button down there. Like, share, subscribe. Be a friend. Don't forget our merch. Dan, we're all pointing to the same area, and Dan's like,
yeah,
I don't know
but
where
if I go,
it is.
but it's the opposite on my hand on the camera though. It's like if I point left, my hand points right. It's mirrored off, and it's weird.
Are you still doing your podcast, Dan?
Yeah, I've kind of taken a break with it because I got my daughter back right now. I'm trying to get back into the rhythm, but I have the 4 sketches written up, and I was going to try and make Wednesday to be my day to actually start doing voices, and I also got to get a hold of Scott and Rick to coordinate what we're doing. But yeah, we want to get back to contains graphic nudity is the
very nice.
Find us on YouTube and SoundCloud. There's no nudity. It's a podcast.
Just strictly audio.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this
All
is
right,
the
guys.
place where the nudity is.
Yeah, for sure. We didn't even get a hit on YouTube or a strike. I'm proud of us. Dan, we appreciate you being a good sport on that. Everybody, we appreciate you tonight. Ryan, we missed you. Back on Tuesday. Next Friday, I will be in Florida, so one of these other assholes will host the show, and I will join it from my phone in Florida.
Cool.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Cool.
Groovy.
All right, guys. Enjoy your long weekend of football. Bear down. Have fun, guys.
Peace.
See you there.
Peace.